Uh, Going through my some photos that I took. You don't know anything about photography?
No, not really. The only thing I know is like there's a rules of that like better pictures are not straight on, they're kind of off to the side, and there should be this natural thing where there's one bolded quadrant and then there's like three, other quadrants that are more filled, which I think that um, picture where Trump was shot, I think that follows that kind of thing where there's like more of a void space. But that void space has a flag in it, and the rest of it is kind of like filled in with the bodies and stuff like that. So, anyways,
Hmm.
but yeah, direct on pictures aren't as good as having them in these like if this was a picture, it'd be in like these regions where you want people to be. You don't want them to be direct on like we do here. So like this would make for a better photo than this. But I don't know much about the like technical things of lenses and
Neither do I. Oh, why does it keep doing that? Reprogramming.
I'm just typing a message. I mean, I program every during the for days or whatever, but yeah, obviously.
Oh shoot! Maybe I should switch my camera.
Yeah, cold.
Uh, no, nah. I don't know. My crib is dusty.
You got your. You sound like you're sneezing, but also you got your. You must have your Invisalign in because it sounds kind of like you got that list again.
Yeah, yeah. It's like a pacifier to me.
Yeah. I watched this video and I don't know if it was real, but the guy hadn't taken out his retainer for like 10 years or something like that. Took it out and his teeth were like perfectly white.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know if that was real. It's just, yeah.
I got my motorcycle back last night.
Say that again.
I said I got my motorcycle back last night.
Oh, take it for a ride.
Yeah, I had anxiety. So I haven't rode that bike since June 12th of my accident.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I just have a lot of anxiety when I don't wear a helmet. So that'll probably go away after like 3 days.
Yeah, exposure therapy or whatever. You just have to do it enough to.
How do you
Go on. I'm not okay, but it's all gonna be alright. I know. All said and done, nobody lies. I know.
Check, check.
Hey, what's up?
Well, I'm not sure what happened. Are you still programming outside of work?
I want to, but finding a project I get interested in it's hard. So I did submit 3 talks for that or a few talks for that conference, but I don't know if I'll get any of them. I used a lot of AI stuff to just build out the message. So the abstract.
Yeah, I'm getting AI curated emails from recruiters where they reference why I'm a good fit because of my Beach Mobile, and they'll like I could tell that they didn't write that.
Do they have the M dash in it? That's a tell.
No, I didn't see it yesterday.
Yeah, I tried when I was writing the my those abstracts. I'm like, do not put an M dash in it, and it was like, okay, I will never put an M dash in it. Next thing, put an M dash in it. Never put it in there. And it's just like, okay, yeah, I'll never put it in there, and then it puts one in there. And I had to have it specifically go back and remove that M dash and replace it with more natural, what people would actually write, because nobody uses M dashes in like normal discourse in their writing. So
What's your job hiring?
yeah, they're hiring.
Really?
Yeah.
What are they looking for?
Senior backend engineer.net.
Are they competitive when it comes to pay, or they don't have to be now?
I don't know. I think from what I've seen on some like recruiter stuff, I don't know, do we have our pay ranges advertised? I mean, they're competitive, but it's the market's not competitive right now. I don't know. I mean, I don't feel like I'm underpaid or anything. Check our job posting and see if it's listed there. It's 130 to 175 base.
I'll take the 175.
Yeah. And then there's options and stuff like that, I believe, too. I think. I don't know. Maybe they're not offering options anymore.
What was the job description?
I'll send it to you in chat.
You guys use AWS though, right?
We use AWS for for our infrastructure or whatever, but I don't really do much with it because I don't know. I'm not really a fan. I don't really like dealing with infrastructure. I know a lot of engineers geek out about it, but I just hate it. So
Hold up. So you don't have to write code that connects to any like cloud resource?
well, I mean, not really. No, I mean, Postgres and we have other services we connect to, for like email and things like that aren't AWS. But yeah, we don't use like, we don't connect up with like, I don't know, any sort of like, gosh, I don't even know what I would call like I don't know. we don't connect to anything that's AWS specific. I think we might have a few Lambdas out there or something, but they're not what I would develop on regularly.
Programming is gay.
It is?
Programming.
Oh.
Only sissy boys program outside of work.
I don't know. Well, I like you can do the fun part of it though. It's like domain modeling and stuff is a lot of fun outside of work. But you need to have a domain. Trouble is, I really love doing that. I like thinking about the problem and trying to build the best model for it.
Hey, Gamlor.
But it's like if it's for no point, like I don't see any future in it, or I don't know how I would deliver it to anyone. It's like, well,
what's the most interesting domain model that you attempted?
oh, I mean, the most interesting thing I keep going back to is trying to build a game engine that makes sense, like something that's similar to Unity, and really the API into it for like a code first experience rather than like an editor, but and then and this was with work, but I wasn't allowed to, or I wasn't really like it was at my previous job. I wasn't really like allowed to work on it the way I wanted to, but like an inventory system is another thing that I'm really interested in trying to build out. And not just a table full of here's a number of our quantity, but trying to make it resilient to like people are competing for the same inventory at the same time and you have a finite quantity, and then dealing with stuff like how do you reconcile inventory after you've like during the shipping process, or how do you
I did that with mobile.
reserve stuff and that kind of thing. Yeah. So that's I don't know why it's not a very exciting domain, but it's really interesting to me when you get into the problems of concurrently trying to get at the same inventory and dealing with that. I think a lot of companies, what they do is they would probably just try to solve it by saying, well, we'll just submit the order, and then if the inventory is not there, we'll cancel some part of it. But what if you didn't want to do that? So
where is Beach Mobile at?
but I would use
because I did that already. It's probably been like 4 years since I wrote it, but yeah, it was interesting though.
Yeah, that is an option. I think I did this once. An auction setup is also kind of an interesting thing, but both of these are because I wanted to explore using Microsoft Orleans for concurrent problem solving. Like specifically, how do you deal with the fact that you've got a resource that's hotly contested, and in auctions, that's the way it is, and but really there's probably a better way to do certain things. Like you could just put stuff on a queue and reject things after the fact.
What did I call it? Marketplace.seller. Define deliverables. Define I have no clue what these folders are.
Well, then you did a shit job at modeling. Damn it! No, just kidding.
I created some marketplace.seller. Apparently, I put a lot of thought into it. This is only a year ago. Why can't I remember me doing this? Establish communications. Hold on, I'm just going to open this up.
Oh, Visual Studio. I haven't used Visual Studio in so long. I miss it. Although probably now my muscle memory is swapped over to VS Code, so I'm probably be shit trying to get back into it.
Dude, it looks like I'm looking at this for the very first time, and it was only a year ago that I wrote this.
Well, you've got a Hello World, so hello name. I meant.
Apparently, I have a library.fs, so inbound, outbound, define deliverables, select a logistics provider. Okay, where's my
Man, I'm
define
tired.
what was I thinking when I wrote this?
The world
Regions,
may never know.
purchasing behaviors. Okay, so it looks. Oh, okay. So I didn't write anything. I was just trying to conceive a folder structure. It looks like. All right, I feel better about myself. I'm like, why don't I remember this?
But yeah, I was
All right.
trying to model out inventory for like I said, a hotly contested double-sided marketplace because that's the industry I was working in at the time, and so like I had inventory conceptually as representing physical inventory in a location, with quantity, and then which was distinct from what you might put on a listing for quantity. And so you had to kind of reconcile when you place an order, you would first look at reserving the listings quantity. Then you'd have to go out and check that the inventory was actually physically still there in case you had multiple requests go out at the same time or come in at the same time. But then I got into thinking about, well, how would you handle it? Because I was like, okay, I'm going to use Orleans and I'm going to have every single inventory set of inventory be a grain, not each distinct inventory necessarily, but and then, well, what would I do if I had like a million people trying to hit that thing at one time? Like, how would I make it so that that was still scalable? And would I have some sort of like it's not partitions as the words I'm looking for, but I'll just use partition. Partitions of like requests get routed to this if you're in this range or this, and how could I best partition the requests to come in so that I could put actors that are that were like gatekeepers ahead of it, so that you could basically reduce your overall impact on a single hot inventory item. So like you have a based on maybe some attributes about you, you get bucketed into a group, and then it routes you to your request to some actor that maybe handles 100, and then that will go through and pass it to something that handles like 10 of those 100, and then that will go to the actual core thing, and that core thing maybe only talks to like 10 other things at a time, but that core thing will also like keep those 10 things updated so that they all can then communicate out state changes and basically handle delegating off rejections for inventory once it's consumed. So I don't know. I had like all these like ideas on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I just have this really big interest in real time like concurrency problems, and real time well, yeah, anyways, like hotly contested resources. I also like to work on something that's like actually highly concurrent, where you have people working on some same common thing at the same time. And I want to see how, like, I want to work through those problems. I don't have all the solutions for them, but I want to try different approaches and things. Anyways, delete me. You failed.
Yeah. This solution has 45, 47 projects in it. That's
Yeah, it was
crazy.
way too big.
I like isolating things. I like granularity. Dude, this was a huge undertaking that I did. This is all client related. So if all this is client related, where's my back end solution at? Speech mobile vendor. God, order fulfillment DevOps. Shopping cart service. You're supposed to know all this. Inventory.
Inventory.
This.
Try inventory. No.
Let me admire my work. Why can't I open this thing?
Yeah, actually, Beach Mobile is like a great. So I was asking AI last night, like, pretend you're an entrepreneur and what you want to build. And one of the things that came up was basically like a delivery system like this. I'm like, no, I think that market is saturated. And
the machine keeps freezing. Open up the freaking solution. What am I doing wrong?
yeah, you're right clicking, aren't you? Or double click?
Do I have to clean underneath my keyboard?
What are you doing when you're clicking on those?
I'm hitting the thing. Nothing's happening.
Oh.
I think I gotta clean my keyboard. Oh my god, dude.
Right click on it. Oh, there it goes. But yeah, inventory is interesting because it's like trying to conceptualize what inventory is and defining it is just an interesting thing. Like, do you have location with inventory, or is that not a concern of inventory? Does inventory need to know where it's located at? In some cases it does. Is every single piece of inventory distinct, or do you have like fungible, or is it non-fungible? It's non-fungible is the term. Inventory that can be spread out, and then like how do you track those pieces? Like if you put a box of 5 of something on the shelf, you've got 5. Do you record where the box was put? Do you record each individual one as their own kind of like tracked thing? Like, I don't know. There's just like, yeah. .NET 3.1. This is ancient, man. Holy cow.
Where's my spec at? Dude, my trackpad's not working, man.
Where's my spec?
Operations. I'm clicking on it. Yeah, so here is my model of how I saw things. You would register. Yeah, so there's a depot ID, hence the facility where the inventory asset is harbored. Depot name, depot location, and then there's a model of that register item request, serial number,
See,
receipt of
so
receipt of purchase, and then I have images of it.
so model is like your product ID or catalog item
Yeah.
type thing, right? So it's really
Yeah.
it's more of your catalog concern.
Well, hold
Receipt of
up.
purchase, though, I'm
I
not.
mean, let
Oh,
me
that's your.
let
So
me.
receipt of purchases too is like a purchasing concern.
Yeah,
Purchasing
it's just a
feeds into
string.
inventory, but it's not really an inventory item. Although you could trace back
Well,
potentially inventory, specific inventory to.
no. Receipt of purchase is it relates to how that item got into the inventory. Like, who did I source that item from?
Yeah,
Like,
like
was it an Alibaba receipt details? Was it? Yeah. So
yeah,
that.
and like I said, that's something I would have as like across an enterprise. I would probably have that
Yeah,
as
because
a
it's a byte
thing, but
array,
it would
so
be
it's a literal image of a receipt or a purchase order or something.
yeah, but it would be in my world, a procurement or a purchasing type system would track that kind of stuff. It wouldn't actually be in your core inventory because there might be data from it that are important to inventory, like an expiration date or a date lot code or any of
Well,
that kind of stuff.
no, the name
But
of this operation is called register. So we're registering an item into our inventory.
oops, one second. I made this my alarm. I don't know why.
It's crazy. Yeah, so there's an operation called register where we're registering an inventory item, and I think these properties are relevant because it provides a history
Yeah,
about the item before we get into our inventory.
yeah, and like I said, that this is the fun of it is because you could have these kinds of debates with yourself on whether a receipt of purchase actually matters in inventory or not. It doesn't help identify the object. It has nothing to do with quantity. It doesn't help with unless
Yeah, it's meta. It's a literal photo of the receipt or
yeah
purchase order
yeah, and
for taxes or whatever.
there might be meta information about that's important for inventory. Um,
And
but
then
yeah.
there's missing. So item state request. I don't like how each of these operations have exposed some type of like token from an actor. Now that I look at it, so you see like this manager token,
Yeah.
or you see this token. Um, no, actually, no, I take that back. Yeah, I'm kind of stuck. So basically, in order to register something, someone has to be authenticated or authorized, really, someone has to be authorized to register some inventory asset. And so they have a token to perform a registration operation. For missing, it's the same thing. In order to declare something missing, they have to be authorized to declare something missing. Hence, they need a token. I'm just not sure if this token really belongs
Yeah, I
within
wouldn't.
the model of a register or a missing or a decommission operation.
Yeah, and see, I
Like how
wouldn't
would you
mix that
reference
in
it?
there because I wouldn't mix that in there at all because I think of authorizations as purely like a boundary or an app concern. It's not a core domain concern. Because if like
Well, you want to know who registered it.
yeah requested by
That
or
and
like a yeah, but you would map that into a model of that's in the domain or you'd give an ID of this user or whatever is the one who is
well,
the person who submitted it. But a token is more of an like you said an authorization concern, right? The thing is with auth is that it's always app specific. So you could have a world where you're authorized to do inventory replenishment on like a mobile device, but you're not authorized to do anything with inventory on a PC or whatever, or a different app. Or maybe you've got some small app where that wraps this service where you're doing inventory, and in that one you've got some permissions, but in other worlds you don't. So that's what I always get to, is that you've got like authorization feels like it's very app specific, and the domain really doesn't care about authorization at all, because that would sit outside. Like if you're physically doing this inventory and you had physical controls in place, there'd probably be a gatekeeper outside your inventory system that first checks your security clearance or whatever, and your rights to do what you're doing. And then once you enter, now you're in the actual domain of the inventory and fleshing things out. But you would come through inventory through different windows, and so those windows should each control who they allow in. Because you might have like an API where you're not permitted to do this through an API because you've never been granted the permission to, but you are through through some other channel. So
yeah, I don't like this token thing.
Yeah, and server to server too. Like if you have a server to server thing where another system is doing it, unless you're doing some sort of delegated flow, but a lot of stuff maybe gets done offline. So you might want to record who the request came from, but maybe you're not sending the token in because it's a trusted peer within a system who's submitting the request, or it comes off of a queue where you don't have that information, or it's old, stale.
But here's the core operations for an inventory domain that I identify. It's register an inventory item, declare an inventory item missing, decommission an inventory item, meaning that the lifespan or the wear and tear is no longer, that inventory item exists, but it is no longer useful. Consumed is, how do I define consumed? I would assume that consumed means that, what's the difference between consumed and decommission?
Decommission probably takes out of inventory for the purposes of this thing is no longer useful, but consumed means that it's being rented right now.
No, that's issued. That's this right here.
Maybe, well, if it's
secured, is you got it back. Well, what was I thinking when I said consumed? They all say item state. They're all of type item state request.
Do you have a consumable type of item?
And state is just a string. Register, missing, decommissioned, consumed. Am I okay? What's the context? Do I actually call this code anywhere? When I try to do a cross check on the references, of course, it's the same thing. Yeah, I'm sure I was thinking of something, but I can't remember what it was. Oh, man, that took a long time. Hold up. It took like 5 seconds.
Yeah, your PC's hosed, man. Oh, so you never actually implemented it?
No, it only looks, I don't know why I did register up here. Oh. Dude, I can't even read my own code.
Well, I mean, I would guess if it's a consumable item, that maybe it can't be put back.
Yeah, I was drawing the same conclusion. So something could be missing. If it's missing, then it's nowhere to be found. When it's decommissioned, it's back in your inventory, but is not planned for use anymore. Consumed, I think, would mean that it's out there, it got used, and there's no point of taking it back. And that's what I conclude what this consumed means.
Yeah, because your inventory is dealing with all like all non-fungible items, so it's every item's unique and handled. So I think I had something like, you had the concept of adding inventory, and then you had a reserve, so you could reserve inventory. So you would make a request to reserve inventory, which would give you back a reservation that's to you. And then you would have like essentially the reservation becomes like a contract for some resolution. So reservation means, okay, this inventory is dedicated to you. Now I could either commit that reservation to actually deduct from inventory, or I could like essentially like roll back or rescind it or cancel the reservation. In which case it would return that back into active availability. There's also things like reserve inventory, where you keep inventory on hand that's above the amount that, like, you only list certain amount. But I don't know. I can't remember if reserve inventory might be more of a listing feature. So I know it's been a while since I've thought about this stuff. But I probably have, like, on my other PC, I probably have a bunch of different like iterations of thinking about how to handle inventory.
Why is it just me, or is it my trackpad, or is it just slow performance? It's probably both.
Something's up, yeah. I don't know. Look at your resource, yeah. Your CPU's pegged. One time I was talking to someone.
No, it's at 100%, and then when I look at Task Manager, it immediately drops to 20.
Yeah, one time I was talking to somebody, and I was explaining how my machine was always really slow, and I was like, and instead of saying the disk was pegged, I said the dick was pegged. And I was like, I stumbled over, like,
yeah, it's not, yeah. What were you doing?
Yeah, right.
Why did I do this in C#? I don't understand it. Oh, because this is an API. Dude, I'm unemployable, man. I can't even read my own code.
I think we all look back and go, huh, I should have done this differently.
Hold on, why can't I do this? Feature file scope and not available. How do I upgrade my
I have a structured settlement and I need cash now.
I gotta upgrade my Visual Studio.
JG Wentworth 877 cash now.
Has Gambler said anything? Because I've been sharing my screen the entire time.
No, just hello. But yeah, like I said, it would be.
Oh shoot! Should 2025 be coming up soon? Or
I don't know. Studio? I don't know when Visual Studio is supposed to be refreshing.
I mean, I'm due for a new computer. This computer is like probably 8 years old, but I have so much software on here and so many files.
It'll likely be late 2025 or early 2026.
And what's it going to be called? Visual Studio 2026 or 2025? Probably 26, right?
I think so. Hold on, let me look at the. There was a video like 3 weeks ago for. Trying to see what the timeline is.
Oh God, everything's AI now. Roadmap for AI and Visual Studio. The Visual Studio August update is here. Smarter AI, better.
.NET agents. I freaking tired. So tired of AI.
I'm AI fatigued. Yeah, so like, dude, I dropped damn near $10,000 on photography equipment, and I think I'm in over my head because I don't. I'm trying to learn landscape photography, and I thought it was like, oh, you just go to a beach or go to a mountainside, and you hit the shutter button or you click a photo. Man, there's so much science and technical details for a wide angle lens. I spent $2,000 on this lens, and I feel like I just literally just wasted my money, and I can't return it.
Well, you could always resell it, but why don't you just learn this stuff?
Resell it for what, 1,000?
Yeah, just
I
learn
did. I purchased a book on it yesterday. I've watched like probably 3 hours of YouTube videos on like wide angle lens, dude. It's complicated. You just can't take a photo. No, I wish
But people take classes on it.
I'm about to probably do that next. I'm probably going to sink another $1,000 just in learning material to use this lens.
Do you have a community college? Just go and take a class.
Well, I was going to go on
Photography 101.
I was going to go to meetup.com and join a photography group and hopefully get some free training and mentors. Hopefully there'll be a lot of hot chicks in there.
Yeah, a lot of photographers are hot chicks. I don't know why that is. Gosh.
Yeah, it's interesting though. You know what I noticed on YouTube is just as there's a whole bunch of it's basically a community for everything from like your Scala community to your F-sharp community to your Harley community to your Ducati community. There's a photography community. There's landscape photography community. There's street photography. Like YouTube is worth a lot of money, man. And I'm surprised that you remember what was a competitor like 15 years ago? It was V. It starts with a V. I don't know why I want to say Venmo. It's not Venmo.
Vine? But Vine was Twitter, and it was short form videos. It was almost a precursor to Twitter, TikTok.
Well,
it wasn't really YouTube. Rumble is the only thing that's really even come close to YouTube in terms of.
It's not Truth Social.
No, as a pure video platform, Rumble is really it that I've seen, and that's the only reason it's at all kind of taken off is because it's the alternative economy, because conservatives were getting deplatformed off of everything, so you needed to build up an alternative economy of video so that they could actually share videos and stream and stuff like that, when you couldn't do it on normal channels that were controlled by liberal special interest. So I think things are changing maybe a bit now, but for a while there, it was absolutely necessary to have a different platform.
I think Biden has to be one of the worst presidents on record.
Yeah. There were probably a lot of bad ones, but yeah.
No coincidence he came right after a black president.
Yeah, I know Trump is pretty bad. Trump's black. He's got a mugshot. That was me.
No, also he came after Obama, right?
Well, I guess if you talk about just conservative, just liberal ones. Although, believe it or not, Trump is actually a fairly liberal president, but he's just very, at least socially liberal. He just has different opinions about things.
He tends to deliver on maybe 80% of what he says. Like you saw
at least he tries.
Yeah, you saw that strike on that alleged drug boat in Venezuela. Yeah, Trump is a mafioso, man. This is like watching paint dry. I don't know why I'm still sharing my screen.
Yeah.
You want to look at my photos?
Sure. Of Colombia.
This is take two. This is why is it not going there? Click. This is my favorite one. Yeah, I gotta go on Google Maps and find someone to clean my my keyboard.
You know, use an external keyboard and mouse. I can't believe I wouldn't be able to function. I wouldn't be able to code at all well on a without a real keyboard and a real mouse. Like I can't.
What do you mean real?
I can get. Oh, I mean, I can get a real a separate device that's built for that. Like the one on the laptop, I can make do with, but if I didn't have something to type on like this, full keyboard where everything's in the right positions, the standard positions. There's no because I use home and end and stuff like that a lot. So I'll hold shift home and then I use the arrow keys to move around like control or control shift, or I'll arrow up and down. Like those are just never in the right places on actual on laptop keyboards. Like there's maybe a few keyboards, laptops that are like that, but very few. So
this is one of my favorite photos.
Yeah. What was the next? Just arrow over, because that'll go through it. I thought that looked pretty cool just looking at it from.
I like taking photos of pelicans, man. They're majestic. I took this with my Nikon Z180 to 600 lens. This lens for wildlife photography. I like this one too.
Is this a black and white, or is it the?
No, this is early morning.
Okay, so it's in the was it dawn or whatever, dawn hours where the light is low.
I mean, I have different exposure shots.
Mm-hmm. I think you're learning just fine then, probably.
This was like my third day, and I've had this camera for I think it's probably day 12 now. But all these shots were on day 3.
But see how in that photo, if you would have taken that where that seagull would have been directly in the center, it would have been bad. Because you offset it a little bit, it looks a lot nicer. Like that one's not as nice.
You don't like this one?
No, it's too on the nose in terms of it's centered. There's no I don't know, aesthetically. There's not like I said. There's quadrant things that you need to look at, and there's you group things into quadrants. Yeah. Oh yeah. Like this one again, it's a center photo, so it's there's the quadrants. It's not aesthetically pleasing. Like those first ones where you had the offset. This one again, it's too centered.
Okay. Yeah, I took that in Colombia. You don't like centered. Okay.
This one is great. This one's great because you've got you've got the open space in one quadrant, and then you've got 3 other quadrants that are filled with stuff.
Why does it keep? Is supposed to be a graphics card issue? I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe the video file is corrupted.
It was just showing it.
Oh, did it without you clicking on anything? It changed to that. It's weird.
Yeah. If I Okay. Which one was it?
Was that one?
So,
So these
you
ones,
said you don't like these.
yeah, because they're on center, but the ones below it, those ones are actually a lot better because those ones are off centered. Like I said, you've got the 3 quadrants that produce an L and then 1 void space quadrant. And I sound like I know what I'm talking about, but I'm pretty sure this is the thing. Like I've heard it enough. This is a lot better of a picture because it's got that.
I like the
It's
dark
got
one
that
better than this one.
relationship. Where's my son going off to school? You just arrow over it, or is it a bunch of them that are that way?
Yeah, when I try to arrow over it, it just does the same thing. Hold up. Yeah.
How long is it going to take before you try to build an arrow or a photo sharing app?
I would like to get my skill set up so that I could one, create some prints and hang it on my wall. What about this one?
This one,
No.
There's
this what about this? You have to like. I like this one.
Yeah, no? it's pretty good. Like I said, I think that there's like maybe there's a positioning thing, but stuff that's centered is really. I guess I feel like it's not great. That's cool.
Like it was censored.
Yeah, I like the light though. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I like there isn't a objective measure of like if a picture is good, and it has to do with a lot with quadrants and stuff like that. So I'm gonna look this up because I feel like I'm giving you bad info. Or I'm skeptical.
No, well, I mean, you were speaking about what's it called, the rule of thirds, or the 1/3, or it has something to do with thirds.
Yeah, it's the rule of thirds. The frame is divided into a grid of 9 equal rectangles, like a tic-tac-toe board. Place your subject along these lines or at intersections often makes them more dynamic than placing it dead center.
You like this moonshot? Oh, shoot. How about this one?
Yeah, that's not bad. That's cool. That's actually really nice.
I approached them on the beach.
So yeah, it is the rule of thirds. So it's not. It's. But I feel like there was something with like. It's supposed to be like. They divide it into quadrants and use diagonals to balance elements across it. So. Yeah, you have negative space across from stuff. Yeah, there's rules about that, anyways, that you can look into to immediately. Like this one is like I took a standard photo. But there wasn't. Yeah, this one looks good. I mean, it seems fine. Too straight on.
I like this one. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know why either, but yeah, it is. It feels very like I don't know, like almost post-apocalyptic industrial or something.
I took this 2 days ago from my balcony. This is with my wide-angle lens. I took this one with my wide-angle lens. So you know what I was thinking with this photo?
Just in case that somebody lost their kid to a child predator, you can turn them in. No. I don't know.
I admired this right here, and I also admired this right here.
Mm-hmm.
To me, like, I don't know, for some reason, this like This feels like a story where like this guy is alone.
Yeah.
Like in life, he's alone, and then these people have each other. I don't know. That's the first thing I thought as I was being a creep and just sneaking in pictures of people.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, that's it.
I wonder if
Yeah, man, you should get a.
AI has killed those like those stock photo sites, because you can go on their sites where you can put stock photos or pictures you could take. Like people put high resolution images of what they take, and then people can actually opt to purchase them. You know, for
Yeah, I've purchased them before.
yeah.
I spent like, dude, I spent probably $150 on stock photos for the beach mobile marketing.
Yeah. I wonder if AI has killed that industry or if you still can. I'm going to ask Chad, create a early dawn photo realistic image of a pelican, not a pelican, pelican in flight using the rule of thirds. It should be hello. Damn, an hour went by just like that.
Well, Visual Studio Complete yet. Yeah, so like, I don't know, Sean. This is on the story. This is me trying to find a hobby to get my mind off of things that aren't necessarily healthy, and I won't say I'm having fun, but I'm addicted to learning something that I'm a virgin to, and
yeah, it seems to fit your personality. Like you go deep into the stuff that I don't have that drive into. Like I'm more of like this. I want like a tiny little information on each. But you go pretty deep. So like you got motorcycles, you went deep into that. You're gonna do that YouTube channel on it. You've got like chess and watches and Legos you did for a while, right?
yeah.
So
the Legos is I still got some unopened boxes because I was interested in Legos with Star Wars.
Yeah,
I don't know why, but Legos is cool when I'm doing it with my son because my son is like, you know what he wants to be when he grows up. He wants to be a monster truck mechanic.
a monster. Well, that's something.
Yeah, he wants to be.
I don't think monster trucks will go away. I mean, I assume that people will keep doing that for as long as we can. I wonder if they'll eventually have like EV monster trucks and like, have they done a cyber truck monster truck yet?
No, but that's a cool idea.
Yeah, I should shoot that over to Elon Musk. Say, why isn't there a cyber truck monster truck yet? What the heck?
Dude,
I want to see it jump some cars.
I think I'm gonna have to start using my MacBook to start reviewing photos.
Makes sense.
I'd rather just have one machine. Like this is bugging me, man. It has to be a hardware limitation, or maybe because I'm streaming at the same time that I'm overwhelming my graphics card. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, how old is your PC?
Did you just send me something?
Yeah, I just said this is what ChatGPT was able to render about a pelican. It got pretty close to what you took as an image or photo.
Are you
Not
serious?
quite. It looks like there's things that are off about it, but it got pretty close.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it definitely looks weird.
Yeah, it
Hold on,
looks
did you
great
send
as
it?
long as
Did you send it my photo?
no, I just said render a pelican at dusk or no, at dawn, low light, nearly gray, black and white, in flight. I mean, I could tell you what the prompt, and I said using the rule of
What?
thirds, which I don't think it did
Well,
very well, but
what would have been funny is if it just sent you a stock photo.
yeah. Oh, I'll grab that from Pix or something like. I can't remember what those stock photo sites are called, but yeah, they have a license. You can license them and all that, and charge for them.
The other part is where am I at? The other part is, dude, I am convinced that I'm going to get fired or laid off, and I don't think it has anything to do with my performance. It's just, dude, the trend now is just layoffs, downsize, and report to shareholders that you've reduced the operations expense by $100 million by laying off 100,000 employees. Like, of course, the math probably doesn't add up, but so like I say all this because I need a side hustle, man.
Oh no, I know what you're saying. That's what I've been thinking about for some time. Are those pictures of you? Oh no,
So
some
no
muscle man.
homo, no homo.
Yeah.
I met this guy on the beach. He had a tripod like this one right here with his phone, and so he was trying to like.
Oh, you're talking about an actual tripod. Okay. No.
Well, I guess that's not a tripod. That's a monopod.
I don't
I
know.
don't know what you call it.
I'm just joking.
Yeah, so I saw him trying to set up on the beach, and
Mm-hmm.
he's black in a predominantly Jewish area. So I went ahead and said hi to him. He's African from I think the Ivory Coast, and so he's a personal trainer, hence his physique. And so I had just got my camera. I was like, yo, if you don't mind, I could take some photos of you to get some practice on trying to learn this camera and learn the art of photography. And so he was like, really? You would do that? Yeah, man. Yeah. And so he, I think I should have charged him, man. I mean, I gave him the photos.
Yeah.
And then I never heard back from him because I told him, yo, let me see the platforms that you posted the photos on. He said, okay. And I never heard back from him. But yeah, like, I think I did a decent job. Shoot, what did I just do? Anyways,
How high a
yeah.
resolution are those? They don't look as high as I would expect them to be, but maybe they are. Like, what's the resolution on those photos?
Well, remember,
Oh, they're huge. Yeah.
I'm pulling this up using Microsoft Paint or Microsoft Image Viewer or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not
No.
pulling it up in Adobe or anything.
Yeah. No.
Um,
Those are huge. Highly like they're 8K or whatever.
I don't know how would I pull it up the
No, you just
resolution.
hovered over. It'll tell you what the resolution is. It just did. So you hover. It says so. The dimensions are 8. There. It's 8. It's like an 8K photo then, or actually it's more than 8K. So it's because 4K is what 2000 some. Oh god, I'm getting all messed up now. What is 4K dimensions?
Well, I just go off the file size. It's 6.62 megabytes. So they're roughly 6 megabytes a piece, and this is a raw. This is a raw file type. But no, I'll take that back. It's JPG. Never mind. Apparently, in order to have thumbnails that are viewable, I converted raw to JPG.
Yeah, it's like nearly 8K. It's a little bigger than 8K, but
so I ordered like a $400 tripod. That should be coming in today. I've been blowing hella money, dude. Because this tripod, I'm going all in on trying to do landscape, man. And so I shake too much when I'm trying to just hold the camera and try to take landscape photos and set the shutter and the aperture and ISO. Like that's way too much.
So what kind of landscape are you looking at? Like,
the beach.
oh, beach landscape. Is it different ones for wildlife and that?
But yeah, so I have, dude. I spent like another probably $350 on photography bags. Like I said, I spent like damn near 400 on a tripod. I spent like 2,200 on my wide angle lens that I can't use, that I'm trying to learn how to use because I already spent my money on it. I spent another like $2,200 on my 180 to 600 millimeter lens, which is for wildlife, and I just spent $3,200 2 days ago on a pre-order for a 24 to 70 millimeter lens. And then like I plan on spending like another $1,200 today on 2 different motorcycle helmets. And watch, I promise you, I'm gonna get laid off next week. I promise you. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go pay my bills.
Yeah. Time for a side hustle for sure.
Yeah. So like people are like, Scott, look at the way you dress, man. Like you dress like a bum. Well, I dress comfortable. And they're like, yo, you need to invest in your presentation, man, so you can have some more positive interactions with the ladies. I'm like, yeah, probably. But like when I spend money, man, either I don't spend it or I write checks. Right? I don't. Besides food, I don't really spend money unless it's something that I'm really going full throttle into. Like I spent $1,000 on Nikes in one day, like last month. But besides that, I haven't purchased new shoes in like maybe a year. And I was like, man, let me get an assortment of different color shoes to match my favorite colors: gray, red, and black, and Carolina blue. But I think I'm done spending money.
At least until you get your next gig.
I know they're gonna lay me off. I'm like, damn it! I just spent like probably $12,000.
So you work for a company that works for like
I can still liquidate that, right? Besides the shoes, I mean,
yeah, you could resell everything. I mean,
I could sell it for 50% for my camera equipment.
Yeah, well, maybe even 3/4 of it if it's barely used. But so like, I wonder, like, how does like, have you ever wondered, like, so you work for a company that works in government, like, how did they get that? Because I'm assuming it's a contract that they're doing with the government. Like,
how does a small vendor get government contracts? They're a subcontractor for another vendor, for a primary vendor of the government.
And how do you get to become a subcontractor of a subcontractor?
No, I'm a
your own little
full-time
firm.
No, I'm a full-time employee.
Yeah, I know, but how can you become that though? Like,
oh, well,
one is do that they're doing. You know the rules now.
One is you register through SAM. I don't know what SAM stands for, but I did that like 7 to 8 years ago, so that you can view Recs. I forgot what it stands for, but basically when
like requisitions.
Yeah, when the government provides basically descriptions of the contracts that they need fulfilled, even though most of the time they already know who they're going to hire, but they're required by law to be transparent and provide everybody an opportunity to bid on the contract. I did that, but if you don't have relationships, you're not getting anything. Translated, if you don't live in DC or San Diego, I think I'm missing a city. Those are probably the 2 primary ones. Then you're going to struggle to get a contract without knowing somebody, taking them out to eat, going fishing with them.
schmoozing. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
like it's so weird because in other industries that stuff is extremely regulated. Like, because I'm in fintech now, and like you can't like if you're spending more than like I think it's like $500 or something on a client or whatever, you've got to like you have all these disclosures or you can't, or there's like big
Trump's trying
rules
to get rid
about
of that.
gifts and stuff like that. So,
Trump's trying to get rid of that.
Yeah.
Because his argument is in most countries, that's just the culture. And, for American companies, you can't compete. You just can't. So that's part
you
of his
kind of have to. You kind of have to.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's different if you're overseas. Maybe. Well, probably not. I don't know. Financial stuff is heavily regulated because of what happened with like Enron and the financial market crash of 08 or whatever. Like all that stuff kind of.
Sarbanes-Oxley.
Yeah.
Well, that was WorldCom. 2000. WorldCom happened before 9/11.
Yeah, I don't remember what it is. Feels like we haven't had a good. Well, COVID was a pretty big bust, but we haven't had a good meltdown in a while. When's the next one coming? Yeah, isn't it 7-year cycles? So we're probably halfway through the next cycle. So what? 2028 will be the next big thing.
Do you think China's going to invade Taiwan anytime soon?
I don't know why, like, as a country you want that. Like, I just don't understand it.
Why China wants Taiwan?
Yeah.
Imperial interest. Taiwan is huge in the semiconductor or owns the semiconductor space.
Well, so does China owns the semiconductor space too.
Intellectual property, maybe military strategy. I mean, it's who wouldn't want what world power wouldn't want more land or more resources?
Yeah, I guess if there's a ton of resources there, I don't know what.
And it's a middle class. It's a developed country. It's not like it's full of poor people. So like that's more tax revenue.
Well, yeah. Do they tax though? I don't think they do. I think
Does China tax?
I think money just goes right into the coffers, doesn't it? Everything's owned by the state, so I don't know. I don't really know how that all works.
And then China can, in theory, temporarily strangle the semiconductor space on the United States. If the majority of semiconductors are coming from Taiwan and then China takes it over, would it not be in China's best interest to limit the technical progression of United States military and the economy if they no longer have access to those semiconductors?
I suppose.
Yeah, it's strategy, man. It's real time RTS, or it's RTS. So we should go into Venezuela and get Maduro.
Capture Maduro so that we can
get his $50 million.
Get his $50 million bounty. The ultimate bounty hunter.
I wear a
like a great story.
And then you just dress up as a mail delivery man. And,
yes, in Venezuela, I will pass as a mail delivery man. Totally.
I want a ghillie suit so bad. I just want to wear it. No, I just want to crawl on the sand and then pop up.
One of my old coworkers, his son had a ghillie suit because we used it at airsoft, and
for
yeah, and he had a ghillie suit so that he could hide in the brush really well. So, like, I don't know if it actually gave him much of a competitive advantage, but it was pretty cool.
I wanted one ever since I saw Call of Duty or played Call of Duty.
Yeah, you ever do airsoft at all? It's kind of fun. That's another thing you could go.
I've done paintball. That's different, right?
Yeah, paintball's well, it's in the same vein as paintball, but I think it's a little bit more like you can get into more like real world military scenarios and stuff like that. There's a lot of geeks in it, but you can really geek out on it and spend a lot of money in that space, and get really like high powered weapons. And you actually in some cases have to like check how powerful they are, because like they'll often limit the power of the things. And you can get like spring ones, you can get gas powered ones, you can get like there's a whole slew of them. Full automatic, semi, burst.
When I'm at Walmart, I look at the ones that Walmart has, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. But then it's like, what am I going to shoot besides squirrels?
No, so so we would get together in groups and we would do airsoft, and they have airsoft events. There was this one time, or my old boss, he'd go to these events down at an abandoned mall, and they had full on like you'd go room to room in this abandoned mall, and everyone would shoot each other. Yeah. And there's very specific rules about it. Like you get hit, you've got to raise your arm, and you're hit and you got to go be out. And there's a lot of
it's paintball.
Yeah, it's a lot of being truthful. Yeah, it's painful, but it like it's a lot more like the weapons look very realistic. I sent my two good guns down to an Airsoft like 10 years ago, and then the guy is like, yeah, you'd have to go down and get it. It was in Big Lake, Minnesota, and I was like, well, that's freaking forever away. And I'm just like, well, maybe I'll get it one day. And I just never went and picked it up, so I just lost out on my probably like $300-$400 worth of guns. But
if I have friends that were into that, I would, but one is I don't have friends, and then two, the people back home in Cleveland, they're gay. They don't do anything like that. I used to play laser tag when I was a child. That was cool.
Yeah, there's a little bit of risk with airsoft because you are getting hit with pretty high powered air.
I mean, I would hurt. Here's my setup. If I did that stuff, I'll get a ghillie suit and I'll get a flashbang and a smoke grenade. Basically, whatever my setup is on Call of Duty, that's what I would purchase.
So you can get airsoft grenades, and they basically what they do is you throw them and they fire. It's like a gas powered thing, and they launch a bunch of BBs. Essentially, the little plastic BBs, they launch a bunch of them out of them at one time. I don't know if they're particularly effective, but they do exist. I don't think flashbangs would really fly, but no, I mean, we had one guy chip it, like he got his tooth chipped in half by getting hit by one in the mouth because he wasn't wearing a full face mask. He was wearing just the shooting glasses, and then they have to be certain rated and stuff like that. And then my wife, actually, we were playing one, and when you're really close to someone, you're supposed to say like bang, and then they're supposed to just be like, I'm out, Well, she turned the corner and he was there, and she lit him up, and he just peppered his face with these big old welts on his face.
He probably got upset.
No, she made cookies for him. Like it happens, but yeah, it's pretty fun to play, really. Like I enjoyed it, but not anymore. I don't have any friends here to do that, so I miss the days because like my old coworkers, like at my first job, like we did a lot of stuff together, and we like we had touch football. My boss got me into the Boundary Waters. We did airsoft, like just a ton of different things. Like we'd go out to eat for lunch and stuff regularly, but not anymore. It's like, no, I just sit in my office and waste away thinking about coding problems. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, you should take over my my inventory repo and redo it.
I would probably do it all from scratch, and I'd use Orleans because I'm just addicted to wanting to build something with that.
When would you expect to hear back from them from the conference?
I'm not sure when they're. I wonder what they did last year. I can look at their old announcements. So this would have been around August of last year, I suppose. I'm sure I'm not going to get in, but I feel good just saying I actually tried to do something again. I don't think my talks sounded particularly interesting. Although I did pick up one on, I did submit one on something I've picked up on now. It's like server-driven UI. I'm pretty interested in that too.
So I don't know. Maybe because I'm kind of like just by myself right now. But I mean, you go camping, dude. You don't have to break bread like I break bread, but I would strongly encourage you to rent a camera setup with a lens for wildlife the next time you go camping and just try it out. Just rent it. Meaning you don't have to pay any money up front.
Oh, you mean
you don't have to pay $1,000? Yeah, just rent a camera setup for wildlife photography, and when you go out camping with your family, go out on a hike and capture some birds or some, I don't know, whatever animals that may be in the trees or forest, whatever, and just try it out for like a morning and evening, like sundown, and let me know what you think. And if it sucks, it sucks. I like it.
You can do it. You can do a lot of that with just. You could do a lot of that with just your phone, though. There's a lot of features that.
It's not the same, dude.
Yeah, I mean, well, you can get not with the angled lenses and stuff like that, but like most phones have a pro mode that no one uses. Like you look at your normal standard, like whatever, but if you get into like your menu where you've got like this stuff, and then you go into pro, I think it's pro. There's expert raw, maybe. And no, that's not right. You go into pro, and then you can do all sorts of like random shit with it in terms of like lens control, and
you can set aperture, shutter speed, ISO.
I wonder if you can tone settings. Tracking, autofocus, shooting method. Yeah, I don't know. There's just a lot more in these phones than you can actually like. I don't know what any of that means, but yeah, it's like speed and focus center and yeah, I don't know. Telephoto, wide angle, ultra wide. Like, yeah, phones are a lot more capable than people realize for photography. In fact, was it 28 Weeks Later was all shot with iPhones, the movie? Like they put, or no, 28 Years Later. It came out, it was a sequel to 28 Days Later. Well, and then 28 weeks or months later. It was all shot with iPhones, and they put like a bunch of them on this, like, if you look at it, they put a bunch on this like special harness that they built, or special rig that they built. And then they recorded like a bunch of different angles and then stitched it all together, and then they were able to make some really cool like scenes or things that you couldn't do with a standard camera. So yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I suppose it's about that time. Well, hopefully you don't get laid off today. Maybe next week.
I'm dead serious. It's going to happen. So right now I'm doing production support.
But do you just don't have it?
What's that?
How do you know? Like, you just don't have enough work, or are there rumblings about it, or like
they did a massive? I mean, be careful how I say this. I don't want to get fired again for something I do on YouTube. So they did this massive restructuring. not layoffs. They literally restructured, um, like teams. So like they have this concept of pods,
Mm-hmm.
um, and so like they basically they're trying to migrate from having like vertical layer teams like mobile team, web application client team, and an API team to having like vertical slice teams.
Yeah.
So they have like, they have pod one, pod two, pod is a team.
Yeah,
That's intended
we
for a
have
vertical
squads.
slice.
It's the same setup.
Okay.
Squads consist of usually like a combination of front end and back end people, and yeah, for full
Yeah.
stack like I am, one of the
And,
rare breeds.
yeah. And then, and then one of the pods or teams, it's like production support, meaning that like maybe every 6 weeks, someone will migrate from one of the teams or pods into production support and do that for a month or 2 sprints, and then they roll out of it back into their original like team or pod. So first they moved me from my original team. They said, Scott, you're going to be going to a different team now or a different pod, right? All this is a new concept, this pod. So I'm trying to include it as part of my language or
Yeah,
terminology.
no, that makes sense.
So, but like nothing's really changed. Like the meetings that I'm in with this new team is still UI centric. It doesn't involve me at all. And I still rely on my original team when I have questions regarding like code reviews or when I'm trying to figure out how to get something done.
Yeah.
And then they just rotated me to production support, and it's literally like look at I don't know if you know what App Insights is, but look at App Insights, look at the log files, take notes of anything that may be new that requires an investigation.
That's got to be boring.
That's it. That's it. So I think, and they want everybody. Their long term vision is for everybody to be a full stack developer with air quotes.
I mean, I think everyone should be full stack. To be honest, it doesn't mean you necessarily do those. Like you might have a specialty in it, but you should at least understand the full stack. And there's no reason anyone can't be full stack. You don't have to be like, you don't have to do all like the major work in there, but you should have at least enough to be dangerous. So like, oh, you need this extra field? Okay, I can do that. I can pull this extra data point.
Yes, but people also want to be responsible for their career paths. And I understand that, well, it's what the employer wants and what the practitioner wants. And there has to be exchange of money. And if the employer doesn't think that they're getting value, then it doesn't really matter what you want if it's not aligning with what the employer needs, right? So I get that argument. I have no desire to do web development with maybe Blazor, but no, the whole like React or whatever the next flavor of pellet frameworks are. I have no desire to want to learn that and then be held accountable. Because once you fix a bug, in my experience, once you fix a bug in an area that you know nothing about, but they needed you to hurry up and get in there and figure it out, and so you do and you learn things, then all of a sudden you own it.
You're an expert now. Yeah,
you own it, right? That's happened to me so many times where like I try to be helpful in something that I have no interest in, but I understand that it needs to be done. And as soon as I help out, all of a sudden I own it, and then they start assigning all these tasks to me. All of a sudden I heard all these like all of a sudden I have to maintain it, right? So that's my counter argument for everybody should be a full stack developer is, well, if I purposely stay away from the complexity of web application development because I don't want to continuously learn something that I have no interest in the first place. As soon as I start working in it, the business is going to require me to maintain that system, and I'm not interested in that.
Yeah, I do more in it. Yeah, I don't. I guess I don't have that experience, but I have that same sort of feeling with like anything related to ops or DevOps, like stuff I have no interest in learning it. Like I can care about the like what the capabilities of things are in that realm, like what are the trade-offs of using like a Elasticsearch from AWS, or I guess it's OpenSearch in AWS versus this over here. But like I do not want to like set up pipelines and get CI/CD set up and like freaking worry about container uptime and Kubernetes and Helm charts and all that kind of shit. I just have no interest in it at all.
Yeah.
I want it to just work, and I shouldn't even have to know anything about it. Like I want to code, and I want a domain model, and I want to think about data movement and problems like that. Not, and even in the front end, it's like building good experiences and thinking about what is actually going to fulfill the need and why people are doing things, versus just throwing shit at the wall and saying, "Well, this fits our pattern," and but I just can't stand DevOps.
So to make long story short, I know where we need to go. Is I think part of that strategy is to get people more involved in vertical slice development, more hands-on, and get them closer to being a full stack, so that then they can start getting rid of people that don't adapt as quickly. I think it's a precursor to reducing headcount.
I gotcha. So it's like, let's put a new challenge in there and see who doesn't rise.
Yeah, Scott's an old dog. Let's try to attempt. Let's say that we try to teach him a new trick, and then we'll let him go. So, anyways.
Yeah. All righty.
Well, all right.
I suppose
it's been real. Thanks. See ya.
See ya. Bye.
Oh shoot! I missed all the gambler stuff. I got pictures generated by GPT that had the stock photo watermark added to it. They said, I doubt there will be semiconductor manufacturing left if China invades. These factories are super advanced and won't go online after a war anytime soon.
That's true.
All right. All right, gambler. It's been real. See ya.
See ya.
Bye. I keep having to click